Hi guys, welcome back to another Matchbox Garage video. I'm Rob and today we're going to attempt to take this Mercedes 230 SL from shabby to shiny. Now you would have noticed in the title this is a custom video. This is not a restoration. If you require a restoration of one of these, there are many videos already on YouTube. Today we're doing a custom. So we start by drilling down the centre of the post, remove the flange and tap that hole. Of course, remember your lubrication, you don't want to snap your piece in the hole. Not forgetting my very handy vise. So here she is, a beautiful car. Like I mentioned, there are many restoration videos already on YouTube, so I wanted to do something a bit different today. Now you can see by the screen there, it was broken. We're missing the tow hook, but underneath she reads Matchbox Series number 27, Mercedes 230 SL, made in England by Lesney. So it's got opening doors on this one. It's actually a very nice looking car. One of my favourite Mercedes Benz, this one. Now I've pre-drilled this. So let's remove the screws to see what we are playing with today. So this basic kind of base there, no suspension piece, the interior just holds it down. But nice bit of detail on the front here with the grille and the 3-star Mercedes badge there. And I love this kind of era of Mercedes where they had the tall lights. Very handsome looking, very handsome. Red interior. I'm going to keep the red interior, but just kind of weather it. Not sure whose pube this was. But plenty of detail in there. Nice steering wheel. And you can see where the missing piece of the tow hook there. So I'll chop that off. Now, a little bit different. I've not seen this kind of style before. The doors are not like a retainer pin, which is what I'm used to. They're just kind of held in by the interior there. So you'll see kind of that crack on the windscreen. Obviously it's held in by another kind of rivet tab there, which I'll remove off camera. And then enjoy a nice cup of tea. Now with that little windscreen removed, popped it into some boiling water in my foot-long jar there. And I'll add 2 teaspoons of caustic soda. This was one of those super quick ones. You can see the water there already turning creamy, and I would say 30 seconds later, and that is no exaggeration, 30 seconds, this was ready to rinse off and not a speck of paint in sight. Nice little detail on the door there, and I'm going to actually detail this out. I've not detailed the inner doors before, and I remember seeing a comment a little while ago asking why don't we detail the inside of the doors, and I must admit I haven't seen it either. So just a little bit, just a little required on the inside, but just to get to polishing up this car here, and it looks beautiful, doesn't it? It looks brand new. And this was where I thought, I know what colour I'm going to paint this. So pause the video, add down in the comments, what colour do you think I'm going to paint this? And then So back to the video. I'm going to add some grey primer to start. And normally I paint the doors, you know, in situ, but of course I can't hold the doors in on this casting, so we paint them separately. And it looks like I've kind of picked up a couple of maybe hairs in the paint there, so I'll have to sand those out later on. And kind of blew off the casting there just in case there were any hairs kind of stuck to the casting. There wasn't, so no further sanding required on the main body here. So when I do paint these, I always find the inner arches, you know, kind of, I need to just pay special attention to make sure they've got full coverage. And then after that, the whole casting is just given one singular coat, one decent solid coat. And you can see in the kind of light reflection there, looking beautiful. Whilst that's off to dry, we'll buff up the base, which looks shiny. And whilst I had it in my hand, I added some kind of silver paint to the hubcaps or the axle ends there on the wheels. The wheels didn't need anything, I just gave them a bit of a buff up with a cloth. The headlights there painted in white, and then I've used my Citadel to kind of get into the gaps of that grille there just to make it look a bit more real. Absolute lovely stuff, you know, add it to your arsenal. So I'm going with the Vallejo paints here, and you'll see that this is black. No further comments at this stage on the colour. So this come out very nice, straight from the gun. So this is direct to airbrush, this paint, although it clogs my airbrush up so fast. So it's kind of almost like, you know, you need to do the job quick and then move on. You can see how lovely that paint is coming out. But I've done a couple of coats on this one, but by the second kind of coat, it was struggling to get through my airbrush. I've been doing a bit of research, and I think it's, I can't remember what it's called now, but something to do with, you know, pin dry, I think it's called, where it just dries on the end of the pin, or the needle rather. You can already kind of see that it's started to kind of dry out and not come out through my gun as thick, and it really is as quick as that, to be honest. And you'll also notice how I go closer to the car, the more I add more paint, and I just kind of add a little bit of extra paint there. You know, I don't like to waste paint, you know, they cost a lot of money, so you know, if I need to add a little bit more, especially if it's direct from the bottle, there's no pre-mixing or anything that I need to worry about here, so it looks quite nice in black. And you can see it shiny there in the light reflection. Although this particular black, this Vallejo black, does finish in a matte or satin, so perfect for what I need. So there's the old windscreen there with the great big crack. and here is the replacement. You'll notice I've just kind of opened up that hole a little bit because I felt that it just needed a slight bit of movement on the car that I prefer. And then with a little dip in my Pledge Revive It, you know, it comes out absolutely beautiful. So I'm just going to now take off the remainder of this broken tow hook and then give it a bit of a dip. So there's the kind of, you know, the tow hook cut off there. And whilst it was still wet, kind of, I just took my Citadel again and then went over the interior. And this takes all of, you know, 20 seconds. I put on a relatively light coat of Citadel on this one. I didn't want to overdo it. I wanted to keep the red interior. I felt that that kind of suited the, you know, the eventual colour. So yeah, it's not going to stay in black, this car, but it needed a black coat. But yeah, with the red interior there, I thought, yeah, that looks smart. And look, you know, it takes 30 seconds, you know, adds a bit of depth, adds a bit of character, and I put that to one side to dry. So here is the real colour. This is the Vallejo Silver. So again, it goes straight squatted into my gun after a good old shake up, and you can see it in the cup there. And we start to cover it on. I painted it black first. If you remember, I had a, what was it? I think it was like a Volkswagen Caddy, or no, what was it? It was a Volkswagen beach car, and I painted it gold straight over the white primer. And I had a few comments that said, you know, if you're going to do gold or silver, paint it over a black. So that's what I've done here today. So I've, you know, it's got 3 coats of colour, this car now. And I was a bit concerned whether the silver would actually, you know, go over the black, but yeah, it went over easy enough. So there's the first coat on the doors there. And whilst putting that to one side, grab the main casting. And then start covering the silver. I must admit my paintbrush was playing up a little bit. I think it was a little bit clogged from the black. Of course I cleaned in between, but I didn't do like a full tear down. I've done, you know, a relatively simple clean, and actually it needed more than that. It did require a full breakdown to get the best finish probably. Unless it's just the way that this silver works. You know, I remember the gold was the same. It kind of come out really thin, or it was just a thin paint, and it required many coats. And again, like the gold, in the same brand, it come off with a satin finish. And I remember, no matter how much of the lacquer that I put on the gold afterwards, it didn't really do anything. So I kind of painted this silver knowing this was going to be more of a satin silver and not a gloss silver, and I am very happy with the result, to be honest. So it's really starting to take shape here, and it almost looks like the unfinished, you know, the kind of unpainted car at the start, and that was where I kind of took my inspiration from. I could have just perhaps painted a lacquer over an unpainted car, but you know, I want to paint these cars, and if I can get a similar or the same finish, then even better. So here it is. You know, a couple of, probably 3 coats, maybe 4 coats of silver. There's not that kind of shine within the light there, because it is a satin, which I am very happy with. Of course it does shine, but you know, not like a glossy shine. So you notice I added a couple of details on the back there, rear lights, rear number plate, so there's a little reminder of the base, which we know. The interior is now dry, and you'll see I've just added a little bit of silver to the end there, just in case it was going to poke through, and it certainly didn't, but you know, better to be safe than sorry. Whoops. Some interior detail, kind of red to match the interior, plus black on the door window wiper and kind of unlocking mechanism, and there's the windscreen there, nice and dry, looking beautiful. So, as a reminder of what she looked like, and the result. I really like this car. It's probably gone into my certainly top 10 favourites. I think the silver suits it perfectly, and you know, with the red interior, just perfect of that era. In my opinion, this is better than the original cream, but I understand we're all different. But I'd just like to take the opportunity to thank my Patreons, Wills and Thangs, Bearded Outcast, Nick's Toy Garage, Mark Dandridge, Rick Bryan and El Queso. And thank you guys for watching, and hopefully you'll stick around for the next one.